Dearly beloved in Christ, peace and joy. Beloved, I am so excited to come your way once again. Father January YouTube channel. My name is Father January. I'm happy to be with you today, Wednesday, 20th March 2024. It is Lenten Catechesis 2024. I'm always excited to come your way to share with you the faith of the church. Beloved, like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you are new, share the link with friends that they may be part of this evangelization. I invite all of you and I welcome all of you to Lenten Catechesis 2024. Beloved, one very important exercise that is very key in the season of Lent is retreat. Let me say prayer. Prayer. Now, the mode of this prayer is in the form of a retreat. And today we want to talk about retreat and recollection. The word retreat or recollection is one that we are very much used to as Catholics. As Catholics, we have heard of the word retreat and recollection. Is there any difference between these two? Yes, there may. In other sense, no. But there is a very thin, line between these two words, recollection and retreat. Just to know what exactly one is going to do. When I say I am going for a retreat or I am going for a recollection. Other than that, the content is the same. Perhaps the duration is what is different. And so a retreat simply means withdraw, return, going back to the drawing board, going back to play back your life, to look at what has been done, the grounds that has been covered, and see perhaps your mistakes and see what you have done right and what you have not done right as a person. And so this is what retreat is all about. It is first and foremost a military term. It is a balance that is common among military men and women, soldiers. And so when a soldier is at war and the commander shouts, retreat, what it means is go back, come back. So there's a need to return back to base. There's a need to go back to base and see what is happening. And this is what retreat is all about. This military term used spiritually means going back to the source, going back to where our power comes from, spending some time to review kind of our lives, our spiritual life. Recollection has the same sense, to recollect, to collect again. It also has the sense of going back to sit down, to recount, to reinvestigate, to look at the life that you have lived and see whether it is worthy of your calling as a Christian. And so, beloved, whereas we are thinking about this, then we need to see, is there any difference at all when it comes to being at a retreat or being at a recollection? The difference, I said, is very thin, very, very thin. It has to do with the duration, how long one spends on the spiritual exercise. Usually, retreat will take more days, and recollections will take a day. But you hear some people say, I am going for a day's retreat. Some people say, I am going for 1 week recollection. These are terminologies. One wants to say something, or one wants to say that I am going to pray. I am going to spend some time in prayer. But technically, when you talk about retreat, it means spending some days in prayer. And when you talk about recollection, it means that spending some hours, usually a day, praying. So in strict sense, some people use them simultaneously, or some people use them synonymously. The word is synonymously. Some use them synonymously, meaning that, well, they can go one for the other. But for me, what is most important, whether a retreat or recollection, is what they entail. One, silence. Every retreat calls for silence. If you are going for a retreat or a recollection as a group, sometimes it's very difficult to keep silence. But we must know that we are on a spiritual journey. It is not a fanfare. It is not a place where we are going to socialize. It is a moment of prayer. And so anyone who is going on a retreat or a recollection must go with a mind to pray, silence, solitude, a time to connect with God, a time to see where you have left off, where you have made a mistake, where you have veered off that path to God and come back to God again. And so it needs some silence, it needs some solitude, it needs time to focus on prayer, to focus on God, to go deep down into your life, a time when you are silenced and you are with God alone. And so, beloved, I'm sure somebody may be asking, what about pilgrimage? Yes, pilgrimage can also be found in the same category, like a retreat or a recollection. But a pilgrimage has to do more with visiting holy sites, traveling to very important religious places to have an encounter, faith encounter with those places. So people travel to the Holy Land, people travel to Rome, to the Vatican, people travel to places where saints and holy men and women of God have lived their lives to encounter the place. These are faith-moving experiences. And so if you have not had such an experience, it is good you have one, if you have the means. But if you don't, find the closest place to you and have a pilgrimage. It is also one that calls for prayer. Going for pilgrimage is not for fanfare. It is not an excursion to go and see and then have fun and come back. One should have a touch spiritually when you go to a place of pilgrimage. And so I pray that as you plan to have a pilgrimage, as you plan to have a retreat, as you plan to have a recollection, I pray that the power of God will visit you, that you go back into yourself and then think about the life you have lived. See where you have done well and then continue in that. Where you have not done so well, encourage yourself and come out better. Do a SWOT analysis of yourself. See your strength, see your weakness, see the opportunities you have, see the threats that are there for you, and see how you can use them to better your life and become a good and better Christian. Beloved, you can read more on the subject of retreat and recollection and share with us whatever knowledge you have acquired that I have not put up here. And we will be very, very grateful to read such comments. Like this video, share this link, subscribe if you are new, and be a blessing unto many who have joined this channel. Beloved, my name is Father January, and I'm blessed to come your way. Lenten Catechesis 2024. May God bless you. May God bless your family. May God bless your business. And may God bless your retreat. May God bless you as we get closer and closer to the end of the season of Lent. Stay blessed, peace, and joy.